I'm Mat Steinwede. I'm here with Glenn Twiddle to learn a little bit more about coaching.
Okay, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Awesome.
So, for those of you who don't know you, which wouldn't be many, what's your background?
Yeah, well, mate, I could give you the out-of-the-can response. You know, I'll give it to you, in fact. I teach real estate agents a step-by-step, 1, 2, 3 methodology, a fill-in-the-blank system, if you will, for getting to be the number one agent, like your good self is, in 2 years or less, no matter where you are right now. But in a nutshell, that's what it is. I take agents who are either good, average. I used to think of myself as the rookie trainer, the guy who got $50,000 earners or beginners to $150,000, $200,000. And then I looked around years later at my coaching program and it was populated with all these number one guys. So it's kind of like I used to think of myself as the champion of the beginners.
Yeah.
But it's a nice mix now, and in fact populated by many number one guys, which I'm quite honoured that they call me their coach.
So what makes you a good coach?
I suppose
And why the shift from real estate to coaching?
Mate, that's an excellent question. In that I say in my head I was an average real estate agent. According to the numbers, I was a good real estate agent. And that my best year was $380,000, which isn't superstar material.
Yeah.
Again, I say this with a great deal of respect, like people like yourself.
Yeah.
But then it's also not anything to sneeze at either. For a guy from Ipswich who used to earn $50,000 a year to play guitar, pretty good.
Yeah.
So I was an average to good real estate agent. I was a much better at, because I'm on to my fifth now. The fifth one is about to crack $1 million in a year.
That's my point. Sorry to cut you off. Why the shift to coaching, and is it a different skill set, real estate? Because there's plenty of agents out there that are watching this saying, I don't really need a coach.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to understand from you. Like, for those people out there that may be writing $500,000 and they feel they're okay, why is it a different skill set what you bring?
Definitely. Well, I've studied I added up the other week, about 5,000 hours of audio programs, and yours is right up there at the top of that list. About 5,000 hours of audio training, seminars and things like that. And I disseminated in every facet you can imagine: marketing, real estate people, motivation, NLP, even hypnosis of all things, how to use words to persuade, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And out of that 5,000 hours of audio training, I picked out and tested what worked, what didn't. And even if it worked, but it was too hard to realistically implement in a real estate career, that got either fixed or turfed. And we came up with how that can work. And then I saw people like yourself, like Chris Gilmore, who you know, and Zach McCarty, and all these guys. When it worked in one or more of your guys' businesses, it all of a sudden didn't become an idea that we should implement. It's something that, in the absence of evidence to the contrary, if number one guys are doing it, we should do it. So it's kind of like, it's almost like, we've spoken about it in other formats, it's like we've McDonald'sized the real estate system in that it no longer is up to us to be, we've lessened the need for a superstar salesman, and we're letting systemization and predictable, reliable systems to do some of the heavy lifting for us.
Well, look, for anyone considering using Glenn Twiddle, I've known Glenn for 18 years. It's a long time to know Glenn. But I've seen him grow from a very good real estate agent into Australia's number one trainer. You can't go wrong. He hangs out with the best in the industry. He gets the best ideas. And if you can gather all the ideas from some of the best agents in the game and put them all in one mind, you've got Glenn's mind, scary as that is, make sure you use him.
So would you say you first expand people's minds and help them understand what's possible and then show them the track to get there, and you become their partner almost?
It's an excellent, one of the elements that you guys who are number one earners have in common is a well-programmed mindset.
Yeah.
It's probably, even though it's probably the thing I've done the most study on, it's probably my least area of expertise. So mindset is definitely critical. And there's a few little tips I give on people on their mindset. Oftentimes the thing that expands their mind, though, is they find it hard to believe that these rough around the edges guys like I am, my marketing is very rough.
Yeah.
Or depending on...
Really?
It's a little rougher than professional. But my question is, how's that professional thing working for you? Now, if it's working for you, great.
So how does authenticity come into play with people's careers?
Definitely, that's probably why I do okay being rough, because I am a bit rougher.
Right.
You know, so that authenticity, people sort of say, yeah, okay, he may not wear a tie, he may be a bit rough, he may misspell a headline in his subject line, but that's him.
Yeah.
And look at the trail of success behind him of people that are doing their business really well.
Yeah.
And a lot of my guys, though, are also emulating that should we say roughness? I don't know, but that humanity
Realness.
in their market.
Realness.
Yeah. And you see in guys like Chris Gilmore, he's number one in his area. Again, the last stat I looked, he was number one agent in our state.
Yep.
And he's a bit rough in his marketing. But boy, oh boy, his results are speaking. So...
Some other people I really want to thank is my mentor and my real estate coach, Glenn Twiddle. Now, mate, we've been on seminars and speaking tours around Australia and overseas for the last couple of years, mate. We have an absolute ball, and I love working with you. You keep me on the straight and narrow. You mentor me, you coach me, you even coach our crew, and mate, I owe a lot of my success to you, mate. Just to let you know, Glenn, where we finished up for the year, 187 appraisals, 114 sales. My goal, I said to you at the start of the year, was to crack 100 sales for the year. Mate, we did it with 114 sales, with over $43 million worth of real estate I've sold for 2012.
So that secret shopper thing that you did, there's a bit of talk about that, and it stirred up a bit of hype.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Well, I got a bit notorious with that because I got a lot of bad people saying, a lot of people saying, oh, you're the devil, you know. Well, I was just seeing if we were as good as we were saying we were doing as an industry. And the results weren't as pretty. You know, a lot of people say, Glenn, you made up those stats.
Yep.
If I'd have made them up, they wouldn't have been as bad as they were.
Yep.
You know, 3/4, I remember once on a seminar you spoke at where Bob Wolf got on, the great Bob Wolf got on and said, be nice. And many agents would be, I didn't need you, Mr. Wolf, to come and tell me to be nice. You know, well, it seems a third of our industry, 49 out of 149, I think is the state, it's about a third, of the agents that my girls, who are 35 to 45-year-old females, secret shopped, they described the agents as arrogant, horrible. They just were so uncomfortable they didn't want to be there. That's a third of our industry.
Yeah.
Could have, you know, be nice would have improved their business.
It would have been in front.
Yeah.
Yep.
108 out of 149 made no follow-up whatsoever to an advertised in the paper open house to the people who visited the open house.
Yeah.
So it was a really damning statistic on our industry. And but the opportunity there is if you can do your open homes game day, it's show day, when you're on show to not only to your buyers but to those buyers who may have a property to sell, you can quite easily, by just doing some of these simple things, you can be a shining light, because when you're up against something who's not even going to follow up and isn't nice, you know, you don't have to be terribly good to be better than that.
I just want to thank you, Glenn. You're absolutely amazing. You are the turning point, I know, in my career, and you are just such a wonderful, wonderful, giving, incredible person, very committed to your clients. So anyone would be very, very lucky and honoured to be trained by Glenn Twiddle, and he has got the leading real estate agent in Queensland as his protege, and certainly it is my dream and desire to fulfill that goal of also being up there as well. Thank you, Glenn.
So what do the good guys have in common? Like what is it?
Yeah, well, mate, I devoured that training program of yours, and I found everything that you do. And then we've discussed and had interviews like this.
Have you stolen it?
Mate, as much as I could implement when it worked, we tweaked it. And, you know, guys, my guys and me look to folks like you as the stars. But what I did is I studied all you guys, found things you guys have in common. One is a well-programmed mindset that we talked about.
Yep.
Second is many of you guys, to one degree or another, have a magnetic marketing system where more clients come to you and say, hey, Matt, come around and sell my house, rather than this prospecting thing that a lot of other people talk about, in that you magnetise people to yourself. And it doesn't require 10 years in the game in order to get that magnetic marketing system going.
Can I ask you a question on that?
Yeah, definitely.
We all talk about volume, and that's all good, but especially not being in the game for long, say a couple of years, and there's a vast difference between writing $250,000 a year or $1 million a year. What happens with the management structure around that and handling the volume?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. One of the other elements in common that the guys have is, well, I call the whole lot a well-systemised real estate business. You know, the things that one of my guys, in fact, just recently said to me, I should have hired this PA ages ago. It's about, one of the things is autopilot systems, and I put management and administerial support and that sort of thing into autopilot, and something that you don't do as a salesperson. Someone on a wage does that for you.
So you help people read around corners as they're growing?
Definitely,
Right.
And the tip is, until you, and I've heard a million people say this in various ways, until you have a waged employee, $40,000 a year, you are a waged employee, $40,000 a year, for the hours in the week that you're doing those tasks that could be done at $20 or $30 an hour. So certainly, it's probably not my area of expertise, is administerial back end. I know we've got to have it. It's not my personality type to be like that. So we've got to pay people in order to manage our expansion and get systemization, like I said before, to do the heavy lifting. So the salesperson brings in some listing documentation, and they do the system, they hand it off to an administrative type person, they do the heavy listing, and things appear on realestate.com, on websites, in marketing materials. They get handed then contracts fully filled out. They go out and get those contracts signed up. They then go back into the conveyor belt. So that system, which is expandable with scale, as you do better, as you go from 250 to 500, you put on 3 more salespeople to administer that. Or maybe that's too many salespeople.
We down from Harvey Bay. We just wanted to say to Glenn, I didn't quite know what to say to him, but this has been just one of the best days I think we've had in real estate training in our 5 years, and we just want to say thanks for putting on the gig, thanks for sharing everything, and we do look forward to working more with him in future.
And the open and honest communication, it's been brilliant.
It has
Thanks,
been.
Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn. Fantastic.
You're a champion.
What are the top few things that they do in common? I changed the subject.
That's certainly one of them, magnetic marketing, autopilot systems, which includes staffing. Another one is weapons of first impression. Now, one of the things is a killer open house, like we described. Another one is one that you've pioneered and just done magnificently with, is pre-listing systems. So weapons of first impression that make the guys look phenomenal. Another one, which is probably the most overtrained, hence it's the one I spend the least time on, which is power presenting, doing a listing presentation that's killer to get you to get as many listings, convert as many listings as you can. So many
There's
other
an art to that in general.
Definitely. And that's probably one that most people can train easiest, so it's the one I focused on least. Most people can talk a pretty good half an hour, but it's certainly one that you guys have in common. Another one is surgically precise negotiation chops. One thing I love about yourself and the other guys who are number one is it sounds like you're just being nice and conversational with your language in your negotiating. And the people out there would feel like it's the first time you've said it. And yet you're surgically precise with the actual linguistics. So it's like a script. You use the script. You use copywriting in a verbal sense to the nth degree. And it's masterful to watch.
What I love about Glenn is when he says something, he's saying it out of integrity. He's an entrepreneur, loves making money, loves being successful, all of that. But the decisions, his primary thought isn't about the money. That's secondary to doing the right thing by you, by me, by everybody else. And even if that means he doesn't get the biggest piece of the pie, he'll make what is a decision of integrity and of character.
How do they learn from you?
Well, mate,
how do they learn from Glenn Twiddle extraordinaire?
Mate, thanks for the shameless opportunity for me to plug. And I'm not going to do it because for me to just say, buy my stuff, that would be me prescribing without diagnosing. What I would suggest, and what I've been doing lately to great effect, is with any coaching. Some people come to me and I just give them a free audit and a free half-hour yarn. I just say, here, fill out this little audit. It's only 8 pages, takes about 20 minutes. And that lets me say, in one case, I just said, what you do is you go and buy Mat Steinwede's system, or you go to, and I've directed people to Greg Vincent, because all they wanted was social media training. And so the best thing for me to say is, don't buy anyone's stuff, or just come and get a free audit from me. We'll find out what gaps you've got in the system, compare where you are to where the formula and the formulaic results results of studying all the number one agents,
Yep.
how you compare. And if I can fill in some of those gaps, then I'll do so. And it might cost you $20 a month. It might, depending on how much me time you need and how much work you need.
So you tailor it to suit.
Yeah.
So where do they contact you?
Yeah, the way to go to glenntwiddle.com. I'm sure we can put up the graphic on the screen.
Yep.
Just go to the website and send me an email or something that just says audit request, and that'd be a great place to start.
Awesome. Well, anyone who's aspiring to do more should contact Glenn Twiddle and go for it.
Mate, you're a genius. Thanks for having me, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Month 4, I've had 6 new properties start this month. So best month ever. So that's really all thanks to Glenn and his training. I couldn't have done it without him. So mate, when you get over here to Adelaide, I look forward to buying you a bourbon and soda, mate. And yeah, look, I just can't wait to catch up and learn some more from one of the best. Thanks, Glenn.